Starting this SCX10 build with the axles. I'm going to be using upgraded parts to build these axles. The C-hubs, knuckles. I'm going to be using universals instead of the stock dog bone setup. I'm going to use the regular gear in the front. I'll be using underdrive in the rear, so the regular gear in the front will be just fine. And that's about it for the front axle. We'll go ahead and get it put together and show you how it looks when it's all done.
Team Baxter.
Got the lock diff assembled now, all greased up. The other gears in here all greased up. I greased the joint that combines the two halves with marine grease, along with heavy marine grease around all the surfaces that approach the outside. So I'm just going to get this closed up and finish the axle installation. So I want to show what was inside before I closed it up. I'm having strange binding issues with this SCX10 axle gears, so I'm going to pull this one out. I'm using the underdrive gears in the rear, so I'm going to pull this one out and replace it with the extra gear set I have. Hopefully that'll make a difference. If not, we'll just have to see. I've built several SCX10s. I've never had this problem. I don't quite know what's going on. Something with the metal is going on, so maybe if I replace with the extra set I have, that'll make a difference. I finally got the front axle assembled properly with the Axial C-hubs, Axial knuckles, Axial universal, and regular gear in there. Now I'm going to move on to the back. For the back, I will be using the standard shafts. But I'll be using the HD gear set, underdrive gear set for the rear, and axial lockouts. Got the HD bevel gear attached to the diff box, along with the pinion to go with it. I'm going to drop these into the rear axle housing and continue to build. The rear axle went right together, no problems. No problems with the gears either. Aluminum lockouts and the HD underdrive gear inside. I did the front axle earlier. The next step is to assemble the drive shaft, but I'll be using MIP drive shafts, which I've already assembled. I've used the longer hub in order to accommodate the SCX10 spur gear cover. So I'll be putting these on, and that'll avoid the manual step of assembling the drive shafts. I've got all the components that are going into the axles built. Shocks, the upper and lower links, and the drive shafts. The shocks are Axial hardware with MIP bodies and tops. The rear shocks are filled with 27.5 weight oil, and the front shocks are filled with 25 weight oil. They're green slimed and reassembled. These are the original shocks from Project Zero. I'm using all axial aluminum links for the upper and lower suspension. I'm using 91 for the uppers and 98 for the lowers. The G6 kit did not include aluminum uppers, so I got my own 91 millimeters. That's the size that's specified by the manual for the upper link. And the drive shafts, as I said before, are MIPs with the extended hub on one end for the axial gear cover. So get these installed on the axles I just built.